way they move on the ground. Let's look at that. Tail up, wings down, checking dung pile to dung pile. This is buffalo dung, elephant dung, lots of animals using this waterhole at the moment, and the dung creates a great place for insects to find food in, find moisture in, lay their eggs in, and that's what the hornbill is checking for. He's just seeing what he could find, scratching through it. Breakfast time. Flies are out this morning. I see Brian is all
fly-proof.
Fly-proof. Like this morning.
Turn it down a little bit.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go. That's Brian.
Oh yeah.
Alright, he does look a little bit like he's about to rob me, but that's his way of keeping the flies off, because you say, I can do this, but Brian can't. He's got his hands busy making sure we see everything. Alright, we're going to do a little bit of driving. We're going to head towards Aratuza, go explore some of the roads that I would have forgotten there by now. So, look around, see around, but we're going to take it nice and slow as well. No rush, we are on game drive. Damn quickly, just to check, just in case. Maybe Kunuma's popped out there again. 3 lobes at the back. 1, 2, 3, 4 toes. Not the perfect track, but as far as tracking goes, the perfect track. It's fresh, we know where he's going. He came past here heading up the road towards the west. And now we or other vehicles, great tracking team. Scott and Stefan, by the way, are very, very good. Not just at the effort they put in, but actually at the tracking skills. Between the two of them, they could track a... Well, there was a great expression. Luna Moore used to write it. What was it? I forgot exactly. But they could track a bird across a granite mountain, or something like that. You know, they can... If it moved there, they can find it. But we will keep this in mind for later on. So just before I answer your question, Renee, I love great questions, and I just have to say thank you. It's been amazing the quality of questions we're receiving from all of you, the insight you put into asking a question. You know, it's one thing to ask, what does an elephant weigh? You know, that's the example I always use for people. I say, we do these amazing live game drives, and people from around the world join us, and they can ask us, you know, what does an elephant weigh, and I can explain it. And that's what I use in conversation when people ask me what we do here. But a question that actually has a bit of insight, or that links something, like Renee asking now, would a leopard, the track we just saw back there close to Twin Dams, eat a monitor lizard that we were looking at a few minutes ago? Definitely. I'm trying to remember. I've seen a few things eat monitor lizards, and somewhere in my memory I'm imagining perhaps that I've seen a leopard eating. I'm not sure, you know, sometimes memory is a funny thing over the years. But certainly your big eagles like eating them. Martial eagles are one of the ones sort of known to hunt them. But I can imagine a leopard would eat it if the opportunity was there, and if they could catch them. And a big monitor lizard like that's a few kilograms. That's probably, you know, close to the same amount of food as a small steenbok or half a young warthog. You know, so it's actually a sizable meal if they could catch it. And the monitor lizard, could it hurt the leopard? It could frighten it. They whip with their tails. I've been hit by that once or twice. You know all about it. But it's just a little sort of welt that's left afterwards. Not going to kill you. And they can bite. Again, my friend's example. Onto his hand. Very difficult to get off. But as long as you clean it afterwards, no, nothing serious. The infections could be bad for us. But a leopard would cope with that very easily. So not impossible. And I'm sure even not that unlikely. Great question, Renee. Debbie, yeah, I mean, it's the second bird that came to mind for me. I mean, obviously martial eagles, that's the one you see. When you see pictures of a big, beautiful eagle eating a monitor lizard, it's almost always a martial eagle. because they're big enough to catch, you know, big monitors, often rock monitors as well. So I'm gonna keep checking the tracks here. There's hyena tracks. And so what we're getting to, Debbie, is your question whether would fish eagles also eat monitors. Short answer, yes. It's something, again, that I haven't seen often, and I don't think it's a typical thing. Fish eagle are quite good at hunting fish, but I've also seen fish eagle eat birds, catching turtle doves and things like that around waterholes. And I'm sure if the right monitor lizard opportunity came up, especially maybe if it's not a big monster one, I can't see why fish eagles wouldn't catch them. It's a good meal. Yes, Anne-Marie, we refer to them often as water monitors, but they are also referred to as null monitors. Anne-Marie is just asking if they also refer to as null monitors. Same as the crocodile. Crocodile, if you get technical, you could call it null crocodile, but just refer to them as crocodiles generally. Again, many of these animals would have been found the first time up in the Nile, northern Africa, in the early days of exploration, in the early days of sort of gathering and collecting knowledge, which has become our knowledge base for the Western worlds down the line. So many animals actually have the word Nile as part of the descriptive name. So it should actually not be in a wild crocodile, it should be in a wild Nile crocodile. Very close to. No, let's just stick our noses in there. Why not? We are very close to where Djuma was earlier. Feeling as that he's either lying down somewhere in the dip. Otherwise, we'll check the water as well, just to make sure. Nothing. Thought I could see for now. Go check the water hole, and then we're going to head west a bit. Coffee left on the morning still. Very good. Who's having coffee right now? Ooh, I guess for many of you, those of you joining us from South Africa, I know that we've had more and more people just locally. We've even had people from close by, Polokwane and Durban and the closer towns even in the Lowveld joining us on drive. So you guys might be having coffee. I know some of you are sitting at sort of 1-2 o'clock in the morning hours now. Thanks so much for joining us still for the drive and enjoying it along with us. Our question was actually going to be, who's having coffee? Let's just see who's having what to drink at the moment. Let us know a little bit. I love good coffee. If you want to let us know, guys, maybe this is your first drive, you can let us know things, ask questions, make comments. This is Treehouse Dam, not too much going on. Let's just have a quick look around, a couple of birds. Just listen as well. Always good to just let your ears do a little bit of walking around. But if you want to say something to us or ask a question, more than welcome to. You can tweet at hashtag Safari Live, or send the questions or the comments through to questions@wildearth.tv. Always nice to have your name. I like to talk to people first name, and same as you guys like to speak to me first name. And it's always nice to know where you're from as well. My name's Peter Pretorius, by the way, if you haven't met me. I'm from Namibia originally, but I've lived a large part of my life here in Djuma, about 8 years collectively, so I love coming back to this place. I have seen hundreds of amazing sightings at this waterhole, and you never know what's going to happen next, as we learned yesterday. So have a quick look down below the wall here. There's a little place that the leopards sometimes like to hang around. We can turn around and continue on. Just because we're not seeing a leopard doesn't mean it's not here. But I think he's sleeping somewhere in the drainage line. Last careful look around. Nothing there that I can see. Right, well that's Treehouse Dam. Nothing going on. We're almost halfway through the drive, so I'm going to head west a little bit. There's a couple of places I want to explore, a few roads that I just want to catch up on. And who knows what we can find en route. Because you know, when it's live, you never know what's around the next corner. Well, let's have a look at this quickly, because I'm trying to jog my memory here, but I think we actually saw 2 warthogs here a day or 2 ago. This would be one of them. The other one would be, well, not with us anymore, because the other one is the one that we saw with Djuma this morning, or the remains of it. I think these were the same 2. Brian, were you with me a day or 2 ago? We saw them at the waterhole, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah. This one would be actually from the behavior as well, so we've got a bit of bush here between us. You can see quite alert, quite wary. And this is the other side of the coin. Very happy that the leopard's got food. But that's one less warthog around now. I'm just going to turn around a little bit. I just want to follow this warthog a little bit and see if it's going down to the waterhole. Very wary, but I don't think the warthog is wary because it's seeing something. I think it's wary because it's had that experience, obviously, in the last 24 hours. Yesterday afternoon sometime that warthog was caught. So this would explain the nerves with this warthog. Also, up until a day ago, it looks like a female. Yes, she would have had company. No, she doesn't. A little bit sad. Guys, you know what, this is also, this is how it rolls, this is how it goes. Some warthogs make it through and they live to a ripe old age, and other ones sort of return back into the food chain a bit earlier and make sure the leopard can grow. But this warthog is doing a remarkable job of hiding from us. Just swing around a bit. Not really Great viewing here. Turn around one more time, maybe we can get another look at her. If not, we'll continue on. Got some good news for you very shortly as well. And the good news is, let me just try. No, that's the thing with the warthog. They're about this tall, and the grass and the shrub is about. Oh, there we go. She's popped out. It's also about the same height, but there we've got a view. Perfect. This would almost certainly have been the. This would almost certainly have been the female or the mother of that youngster. Busy grazing again. I mean, life goes on as well. She will have new youngsters again next summer, perhaps raise all of them. Who knows? She's very healthy and good condition as well, so she will have other babies in her life. She's got a remarkable gift for walking in behind things from us. Quite good conditions for the herbivores. Herbivores are animals that eat plants. So everything from elephants to warthogs, antelopes, giraffe and so forth. And that's the fact that even though the rains were very late, we almost, or the guys down here were predicting one of the worst winters in a long time in terms of drought. But then the rains came quite late. So now you've got this sort of autumn flush of greenery. So great food for them. You can see around her there, nice fresh grass to graze on. Not just the leaves of the grass, but also all the roots would have now swollen with the moisture from the rain. So when this dries, or when the grass dries out, she'd be able to dig out the grass and get to the roots as well. They dig a lot of the times just using the top edge of that snout. As she gets closer to us, we might even see it, but the snout is very hard, like normal pigs as well. They can actually sort of dig and shuffle through the undergrowth and turn over little leaves and twigs and get into the sand and get insects and things as well. I mean, I referred to herbivores just now. Warthogs, to be technically correct, are actually omnivores, same as humans or monkeys, jackals, foxes. In other words, they eat almost anything. Insects and grubs and little worms and things as well. But mainly they eat grass and roots. They dig out a lot of roots with a snout, and if it's tough roots, they use those tusks, the top set, sort of the blunter, heavier working instruments they can use to dig with as well. Move slightly again. Story she could tell from yesterday. Look, let me just see, sorry. Give me a second, let's just be patient. It looks like she might be heading down this way. Now we've got a big question to answer here, and I'd love to get a few answers, please guys. I would love to know, why did the warthog cross the road? And while you send us a few answers on that, I'm really looking to getting those because I could use them as gold down the line. I might use some of them years down the line, so please let me know what you think. On that same note, I know there were a few comments about coffee and tea. I do love tea as well, but in the morning when the sun is rising, I'm very happy with the coffee. And I'm also very happy to tell you that HT is back on the road. Wendy's sorted. He's moving along, so you're going to join him for a bit, and we're going to head west, and we will see you back in a bit again. That's out of shot.
So folks, we've just got our camera on some beautiful antelope here, kudu, which we've seen many times. They're very common, but it's just a matter of stopping when you can to see these magnificent antelopes. She's got a magical little calf with her. I'm trying to One's gone off to the left and the other one's gone off to the right. We did, just to give you a bit of an update on a vehicle, we just went back to final control and VM took off the fuel filter, we cleaned it out, we put some more fuel through it, we had to do a bit of bush mechanics on it. We didn't have an air gun, so we used the reverse of a vacuum cleaner, blew it out, put it back on, started perfectly, and we drove off. That was until now, when I just tried to start it again and it's not starting. So if we just be patient here a little bit, and it might get right itself. We get a situation when we get some dirt in the jerry cans, or the jerry cans get a little bit dirty. The fuel also that we get out here can have some impurities in it. It's a long haul by the time it gets to the bush, and you'll just pick up impurities every time it's put into tanks and things like that. So you're dealing with a little bit of dirty fuel. Your fuel filters on the vehicles do end up getting a little bit clogged up. So we could be here for some time, or we could have the luck. Maybe I'll just give the lucky porcupine quill a bit of a rub here. Let's see how we go. Even the porcupine quill didn't match that one. We've got no kudu in sight at the moment, but a magical experience to see these beautiful antelope. The males have a very big spiral horn. There might be a male around, but it doesn't look like there is at the moment. The gestation period is a really interesting one for a kudu. It's 9 months, okay, so similar to that of a human. And again, the reason for that is these longer gestation periods is because these animals have to hit the ground running. They have to hit the ground running. They have to be prepared to be able to run as quickly as they possibly can. So we're just going to move up in a second. You get this. So I think the situation is probably best that VM and I sort this out, rather than you sitting here with us not moving. I'll rub the lucky porcupine quill as much as we can. We'll get this happening for you. We should cross to Pete because he's over at Arathusa going across over to some roads that he hasn't been to for a while, and I'm sure he's up to something more interesting than this vehicle breaking down. So we'll see you just now. Ah! Yes!
Alright, you guys, welcome back this side. It seems Wendy might have 1 or 2 surprises up her sleeve for us still, but we'll sort it out. Nice kudu. And we are just covering some ground at the moment. This is one of the main roads, as you can see, just looking at it. One of the bigger roads, called Gowrie Main, and we're heading west, and now we're going to go southwest down towards Arathusa Lodge. Beautiful area. I haven't actually driven there since we've been back this time around. Looking forward to seeing that waterhole, one of the nicest waterholes in the area. And we're also doing a test, so this is part of the, call it the rehearsal plan. We're going to see if we can sort of stretch our legs a bit further with some of the new gear that's gone up, so just to see if we can maybe go further than we could before. So if we are going to break up a little bit, as always, we know you are understanding, we know you are patient, but also know that we are testing something that can give us more, bring us more down the line on the drives. Otherwise, as always, it's nice to drive in the bush. Just sit back, relax, enjoy the view, let your thoughts wander. Or if you want to talk a little bit, we're going to have 1 or 2 questions that we're going to go through regarding hyenas and leopard from early. We had some great questions coming in. And as I said earlier, guys, if you're having your tea or your coffee, enjoy it with us. And I'm still waiting to hear and looking forward to hear some of those warthog crossing the road answers. I'm expecting 1 or 2 beauties coming out of it. Like that one already, Katrina, great one. I might even just tweak that a little bit with you, if you don't mind, a bit of poetic license, Katrina. You've been on Drive with us many times. Katrina saying the warthog crossed the road because the chicken was on safari or on holiday. I think that's an excellent explanation. People so easily get confused about, things like that. They could be thinking the warthog was crossing the road to go drink water, but obviously there's more to these things than one might think. Okay, it's not everywhere in the bush that you see things like this. This is the main sign for Arathusa Lodge. So if you were driving in here with a transfer company, or perhaps rent a car or something, you're on your way on your own holiday, you'll be able to find the lodge with a couple of signposts like that. And you know what, signposts in the end, they're just like the newspaper, they're just like the information we get from around us. They're just things that point to what is going on, what we might see, what we could have seen, building that picture of what's happening around us. So for instance, we could look at these tracks. Oh, I'm a bit close now, let me go back a bit. I want to actually sort of include two things into one there. So we're driving along and we see a big sign that says Arathusa Lodge. That gives us an indication Arathusa Lodge is that way. Or we're driving along and we see these big sort of ball things lying in the road. And we see this and we see the wet stuff here. Now we might be wondering, what is that? This is a lot of potential things. I used to always tell people we get these really big field mice around here. Might be from them, but I think perhaps not. This is obviously from a big animal. Just to give you a size perspective, my hand is still far. Actually, let me go show you how big it is. I'm just going to jump down there. I'll give you a quick talk through this. Alright, Brian, give me a shot if I need to hear something, please. Go. Alrighty, so, not a field mouse, I think. Two things you can see here. Clearly this is wet, and this is very, very wet, very, very fresh. If we were in North America, I would say don't eat the yellow snow. This is very fresh. It's not warm anymore, but I would say a couple of hours, maybe an hour or two at the most. Very, very fresh. And this is from a variety of animals. Looking at the tracks here, variety, I don't mean species, I mean sizes. Let's look at this. What do you think that's from? From an elephant walking that way. So that's the foot. Give you a size perspective. Walking, the foot is there, and it kicks the sand up as it walks away. So there's the toe mark, elephant walking that way. There's the size. Look at this one. Much smaller. So this shows us it was a little breeding herd that moved through here. Not one elephant, but by the tracks, looks like 1, 2, about 5, maybe 6 elephant that came past here. And that's really all that tracking is. It is just getting those bits of information around you, sounds, things you can see, and just, getting information from that, making deductions from it. So a couple of elephants, little breeding herd maybe, they would have come past here earlier today. Moving through this kind of habitat towards the left, you can see lots of nice marula trees, good grazing as well, good feeding area for them. Perfect habitat for elephants. Elephants eat almost anything, from the roots to the twigs, to the branches, to the leaves, grass. They'll dig things out, all kinds of foods that elephants can utilize. Alright. Let's continue. Nice big marula tree that. Again, with this late rains, the marulas have got more leaves on them than they normally would have this time of year. Terry's just a bit concerned there, I think maybe with me jumping off the vehicle. What would happen if a snake bit one of us out in the bush? Now firstly, Terry, just snakes don't really bite that easily. They... Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Sorry, I misheard you there. Not bit one of us, but bit an elephant. No, it's something I'm sure that does occur occasionally, but it would have to be a small elephant. I mean, big elephants, simply just the dimensions. The snake wouldn't be able to get its teeth, you know, angle-wise onto the elephant. Never mind the fact then that the skin is too thick. So I think elephants really, I can't really see there being major concern for snakes and elephants. Maybe a tiny baby, you know, like one of the small ones we saw yesterday, if that got bitten on the trunk by a puff adder or something, maybe. But even then, those elephants have got, you know, they've got some thick skins. So I don't really think that's something that they're concerned about in a major way. I'm sure it's happened on occasion, but I don't think it's something that's really a problem. Have a look at this antelope quickly. Beautiful antelope. Sort of passing as we drove past. This is a waterbuck. Waterbuck is also the animal on the emblem for the Sabi Sands Game Reserve. This is a, well, not an old male and not a young male, sort of in between. I would say this guy is probably about 3 years, maybe going on 4 years old. Very good condition, not in the dominant or sort of, you know, the stage where they can start competing with other males yet. So I would expect him to be part of a bachelor group. More than likely another 2 or 3 bulls around this area. We just can't see them. And waterbuck are grazers. They eat mainly or predominantly grass, as you can see there. We're looking at him, he's looking at us, both enjoying the morning. Animals are very active early morning, late afternoon, and not just, I mean, we always go on about the leopards and lions. So guys, I'm just getting a bit of water here as well. But also for your herbivores, for your antelope and so on. It's a good time in the morning. It's not too hot yet. So a lot of the grazing and a lot of the activity happens in the first few hours of the morning. Similar to how it obviously happens in the last few hours of the afternoon. Oh, sometimes water is the best drink. People almost always notice the white mark on the backside of the waterbuck. It's sort of white ring around the tail, the brake lights if you want them. Good markings, but they've also got beautiful facial markings. Under the jawline, sort of into the throat, you've got another white mark, and also over the eyebrows. Like so many things in nature, like so many things in life, sometimes if you just stop and pay a little bit of extra attention, notice little details you might have missed in glancing, you appreciate how beautiful things are. And waterbuck are one of those antelope that the little markings on the face, the ridges on the horns, the proportions of how they're built, really beautiful antelope. But we've got a bit of exploration to do this morning. I'm going to let this waterbuck enjoy his breakfast. I'm going to continue on a bit. This is, let's call it a short trip down memory lane, but driving this road, which is the main access road to Aretusa Lodge. I used to drive it back in the days when I guided here, only to go to the airstrip, and we're going to go up the airstrip quickly and have a look. You often find things there. I used to always think, yes, I wish I could drive into this bush a bit, you know, because there's a riverbed, and I know there's some beautiful areas around here. I was like, it'll be so awesome to drive here. And then when we came back last year, and Wild Earth had managed to get Aretusa as part of the traversing area, it was so exciting to drive a new road. I've always said, you know, HT was doing it yesterday afternoon, exploring a bit some of the roads we haven't driven for a while. But my favorite road in the whole world, actually let me tell you, my second favorite road in the whole world is the road between Cape Town and Windhoek. It's about 1,500 kilometers of just beautiful scenery, and I've driven it many times. That's my second favorite. But my favorite road in the whole world, in fact, you even have it. Alright, sorry guys, as I said, we are rehearsing as well, or testing at the moment, actually not rehearsing, testing the signal range, so I'm going to incorporate that a little bit into the conversation. But just coming up on the airstrip here, and we're going to take a drive down the airstrip as well. It's a nice high point, we've driven here many times before, we know it's good. I think they had some lions here yesterday morning, so let's just see if we find something, and then we'll continue on to Aretusa Lodge. But now I wanted to tell you about my favorite road in the whole world, and in fact, there's one not far from where you are as well. My favorite road in the whole world is any road I've never driven before. There is a sensation or an experience that goes along for me with driving a road you've never been on, a new space that you've never traversed or entered before, that I just love. So when we heard that we can drive Aretusa as well, it was great excitement, and I was very happy to explore a new area. And this morning we're doing the same, almost in a technical way, if you want, just to see how far or can we go further than before with the vehicles. And I'm an eternal optimist, as are all wildlife enthusiasts. I believe we will. So we're going to test that this morning. You're welcome to come along and experience it with us. It does mean later on, as I go into those corners we haven't explored much before, might get a bit of breakup, we might get a bit of sort of flickering on the screen or sound breaking up, but bear with us. You know that it is in the greater interest of all of us. One day, hopefully, before I'm too grey, we're going to drive over the whole world, Pinky. We're going to try and take over the world. I would love to go and drive around and look for polar bears and grizzly bears and tigers. Lions, tigers and bears. I think it's Keats that said that. Up here, not too much. I can see some impala away in the distance. We're not going to go all the way to them because we do want to explore as well. But let's just go make a turn at the hide. They've got a beautiful hide here, and then we're going to head back down to the lodge. We are quite far away from our camp, so not always getting the information through quite as clearly. Renee, we'll try and get to your answer. You were asking something about waterbuck, but unfortunately I couldn't quite hear what it was. Maybe just try again. And I think we might as well go look at the impala since they are there and they're not far away. It's a beautiful setting. Can you make it out, Brian?
Can't make that out.
Sorry, Renee. Can't quite hear you at the moment. Impalas. This is a little female herd. Quite soon, actually starting now, but definitely going into the sort of towards the end of May and going into June. You're going to be looking at impala quite a lot because it's a very active time for them. We're going into what's referred to as the rutting season, which you get with all kinds of antelope and deer around the world. There's a season when they mate, so that they can have a season when they have the young ones together. There's many benefits in having the young ones all sort of relatively at the same time. And those two males on the right there that we're busy going to they're just squaring off a little bit. This is not a fight. This is more just a little arm wrestle, a little sort of just checking each other out, seeing, okay, we're both in good shape. Both of them are good shape, you know, good condition. Look at their shoulders and their necks are nice and strong developed, or fully developed, so they'd be about 4 going on 5 years old. Both of them have got a nice set of horns, so they would both be potentially dominant males and would at some stage during the course of the rut be dominant enough to mate with females. But that does mean they're going to have to square off against various males along that way. Just a little bit of a fight here and there. It's not always aggressive. It's not always a full confrontation. If one sees the other one is stronger quite soon in the test, then they leave it. There's no point to risk injury. But then, in the height of rutting season, when the competition's really on and 2 big males find each other, they can get into serious fights. I've seen a couple of impala fights that are as spectacular, to say the least, as any hunt or any mock charge from an elephant. It really is the raw power of wild nature when you experience these guys competing for the right to pass their genetics on. I think we could also try that question again just now, Renee. I think we're a little bit higher up, so my comms are better. Whoa, there was a good one. This might be a little bit more serious than I thought. It's like the female impalas are coming to have a look there. You know, these are the potential suitors down the line. Look at that. Females are literally looking at them, spectators to the side.
Look at that.
That was a serious locking of horns. But no, they really are just watching. They're like, hey, there's something going on. I think the one on the right-hand side, just from the way they move, seems to be having the slight upper hand here. This is not a full fight yet, but that locking of horns there was pretty solid. I mean, you could actually hear the clunk. Sharp, sharp tips. I mean, the horn tips are as sharp as a pencil's tip. Could easily go through skin or through an eye. So it's not just a, you know, sort of a joking around measuring of each other. This is serious. Let's watch this for a bit more. It's such a beautiful setting. Just while we're watching these guys, the waterbuck earlier compared to these guys, a little bit of differences between them. And Renee, I'm hoping to get your question again just now because I think we're in a slightly better position. But that waterbuck we looked at earlier is a grazer. So let's just compare size of animal to what they eat. Waterbuck is quite a large antelope, one of the bigger antelopes, 200 to 300 kilograms in that range, and they eat grass. Impalas are much smaller, 40-50 kilograms, beautiful runners. Look at that. Oh, wow. And they are mixed feeders. Impalas eat almost anything. That was lovely. They eat, well, let me just rephrase that so I was looking at them at the same time. I don't mean they eat anything like ice cream, meat and chips. They will eat anything, meaning within the vegetation field. Impalas are what you call mixed feeders. So they will eat grass and leaves and little shrubs, anything depending on what's the best for the time of year. That was pretty. Beautiful setting for them to run across. These 2 males are just watching each other. I don't think they're really going to go into a fight. Let's just give them a second or 2 more. But this is more casual. The females have run off now. You know, there's less of a crowd to play up to. Wait, could be wrong though. But definitely more dominant, more confident behavior from the male on the right hand side. He's slightly bigger as well. I would just go as far as venturing that he's maybe even a year older than the other one. 5 as opposed to 4 years old if I had to guess it. Well, we're going to move along now. These males were sort of squaring off against each other a little bit, and they locked horns. Oh, well, every time I say that, they do that, you know. But I don't think there's going to be a serious fight here. They're just testing each other. They're sort of testing the waters. It's the beginning of the rut. So males are just sort of easing into it. Here by the middle of the rutting season, 2-3 weeks from now, you're going to start seeing a lot of serious competing between the males. The females have run off. They've gone into, in fact, you can't even see them now. They've run off into the right-hand side, more over into the guarri bush. Okay. Well, guys, just to keep you up to date with this morning's plan. Obviously, as always, the plan is to go have a great wildlife experience, which we are doing and have had. It's been a beautiful morning once again. But we are also testing, so we're going to be exploring a little bit into areas that we couldn't necessarily drive before. And to update you from HT's side as well, he will say hello and goodbye in a little bit again, but Wendy seems to be needing a bit more work. We'll sort it out, we'll get the vehicle going again. But for now, you're going to be with me. So if we do break up a little bit, if there is a bit of static, we're going to do our best. Our radio comms is also being tested towards this end of the traversing area we use. But just to preempt it for you. I know you understand, I know you're on board with us seeing where we can go this morning. So let's go look around. Right, well, let's see what we can find, guys. Again, just to update you as well, I'm not hearing the radio so well all the time. Now, we've got different radios. The one radio we talk with the game drives, they inform of us what they find, and we can let them know, you know, leopard, lion, and tracks and everything, just to help build the puzzle. And then we're also talking to the control room, from which we get information as to, you know, what HD is up to and what I'm up to and what we're doing and what the plan is. But at the moment, that's breaking up a little bit much, so I might be struggling to get questions for you. So if you are asking questions, we're not ignoring you, just that we're struggling with communication at the moment. Guys, beautiful view of such a beautiful bird, and I believe it might be one of the ones that have changed again. So if there's a more recent name than the ones I'm using, please let me know. I'd love to hear from you. But this is, I still think of them as crowned plovers. That's how I've always known them. Crowned plover or crowned plover, depending on the accent you prefer. Crowned lapwings. A while back I changed the plovers to lapwings. But a stunning bird, Beautiful markings, the legs, the beak, that black and white crown, where the name comes from. Great sounds as well, and amazing little birds. I've seen these birds, not these individual ones, but this species. Let me just move a little bit. I've seen them chase elephant away, literally chase elephant away. What these guys do is they nest underground, so they will do anything to protect the egg. I've seen them chase elephant away, literally chase elephant away. What these guys do is they nest underground, so they will do anything to protect the eggs. And then also they fake injury. If there's a jackal here, for instance, now, or a leopard even, they'll pretend that their wing's broken and sort of run away like they're injured to try and get. And then also they fake injury. If there's a jackal here, for instance, now, or a leopard even, they'll pretend that their wing's broken and sort of run away like they're injured to try and get the name as well. In Afrikaans, they call it kievit. A very sharp sound, almost like some of the calls they make. A kievit. Okay. Right, so we're heading down towards the western end of the airstrip. I think for starters, let me just think which road. We'll go down below, upstream from the dam, and we'll go up to the open area at Aratuza Lodge, at the waterhole itself. Beautiful area. And we'll go downstream from that. Let's go look around. Right, if I've ever been charged by an elephant, yes, various ways and forms, in vehicles, on foot as well. There's a few things that focus your attention into the moment better than an elephant running at you on foot. It's up there with being live for me when it comes to, awareness to your immediate environment. And one of the greatest charges, mock charges, I will remember literally for the rest of my life happened yesterday, Terry. And if I remember correctly, if you're from New York, I didn't get all of it now. You were on drive with us yesterday as well. We had an amazing experience, guys. And if you missed it yesterday, go have a look around. I might bring it up at some stage as one of my highlights. We had this amazing experience yesterday with a young elephant, tiny, a little bit bigger than this. I mean, this one was very, very small. The one from yesterday was a couple of months old, but with just playing with us and mock charging, up on his back legs in front of us, ran down the road, charged back at us. We just had an amazing elephant experience yesterday. So really was something special. Most of the times, though, Terry, when an elephant does give you a mock charge, it's often play. Quite often, more often than a lot of people realize, it's actually just an elephant having a bit of an interactive play with you, seeing if they can give you a fright. They do the same thing to birds, they do the same thing to buffalo, to other elephants. Other times, obviously, it's because they may be uncomfortable with you, so I'm just trying to see where they're going. And they're trying to give you that message that, listen, move away a little bit, give me some space. You must just make sure you follow what they're trying to tell you. Guys, they are in the thick stuff here, and they seem to have slowed down, but as I said, we've got two objectives, as always, to find great wildlife, but we do also want to do a quick test this morning. So I'm going to go to the waterhole and just go down into that area that we do want to test. Here's another Ellie in there. Here's another size. That's a similar size to yesterday. It's not that very small one. This is about the same size as the one that was playing with us yesterday. Probably about 3 months, a bit older even, 4 months. Hey! A young bull. Yes, you intimidating massive animal. Quickly runs over to the adults. Oh, guys. That's just... I can't get tired of that. It's like seeing a leopard. Maybe elephant interacting, playing with us like that, testing us, testing his own bravery, you know, making sure, you know, testing his own courage as well. And just playing. You get the sense of this is an intelligent animal that's actually interacting with us. It's not just some random thoughtless behavior. There's definite thought and planning and feeling behind that. So I cannot ever get tired of that. We are going to come back to them, I think, before the end of the drive. We should have time. I'm going to try and time it to quickly go do the test area, and then to try and see them hopefully at the waterhole by the end. That's one of the many things I love about life, and I'm not going to go into a long discussion now, but so you know, don't worry. But many things I love about this. But one of them is also just trying to figure out what you can do. We are literally breaking new ground. We are going into frontier space, and I can't really hear what's going on the radio, but I'm getting enough that I think you're going to go to HT if I've got it right. It sounds like he's got the Wendy moving, or they've got the Wendy moving. So we'll go to HT shortly, and then we'll get you back here again to look at the waterhole.
Well, folks, we got the vehicle started. We did go and see some beautiful elephant at a water point just there at Treehouse Dam. I came by, Pete told me before, just said after you've done over the other side there, come back and just have a little double check to see if Djuma is sort of had any tracks going across the road or anything. We can't see anything. We think he's down in this drainage line here, so I just sort of wanted to do a little bit of a circuit around here. We had some beautiful elephant, and the vehicle wouldn't start, so it's always not a fantastic position to be in. Anything else I'm okay with, I think most people will be okay with, but when it comes to, we had about, it was a beautiful breeding herd, but they were fine, but it's just that your vehicle won't start. So it is a fuel problem that we're going to get sorted at, during lunchtime, and we'll be back on the road. So all good, no problem at all. Just wanted to make sure I gave you an update why we've been sort of driving and just driving. We don't want to stop the vehicle because we can't start it again. And you don't want to be putting yourself or the animals into a position where they feel like they are confronted by us. Normally what would happen is if an animal like an elephant gave you a signal to move out of the way, you would move. And if you don't move, you're basically telling that animal that you're not going to, you're standing your ground. We always are subordinate to elephants, and we will always make sure we excuse me, we keep like that. When you sit there in your vehicle and it won't start, yeah, always a little bit tricky. So even when I pull up, if we do see something here, there is an elephant herd that's just passing through here. It's the same one. I can see them just now there. Yeah, I can see them just now. They're passing through. I'm going to have to keep the vehicle running, folks. So that's the only reason why I'm doing it. Is I can't take the chance of turning off. Let's see if we can just see these guys. So I just, we got the vehicle going again, as I said. We just wanted to make sure everything was okay, and then we went out and it happened again. It is a dirty fuel filter. We're going to get another one. Will's going to go off and get another one for us. And we'll put that on during lunchtime. So if I sit up here in the bush with these elephant here that I've just found, and I've got the vehicle running, please understand that I've only got it running because I don't want to turn the vehicle off and not have some way to get out. Now this is, I'm pretty sure this is the herd that Peter was with yesterday. I recognise that female and her tusks. If you've just joined us, we have been messing around with the vehicle with a bit of a fuel problem. The fuel has been starved, so that's the reason why I'm sitting here with my engine running. It's not my preferred, definitely my preferred way of watching wildlife, but at this moment, on a safety level and making sure that we don't put the animals into a position where they have to compromise their time with us, I think it's a really nice thing just to keep it running and keep it going, and we can still talk. This herd, I'm pretty sure it's the one Pete was with, because that female's got a really unusual set of tusks. One's a little bit longer than the other, one's a bit skewed from the other, and I'm just going to see where the rest of them are. But this is where that cute little youngster was giving Pete a bit of attitude at about 2 years of age, or no, probably not. It wasn't even that old. I think he was only about 9 or 10 months. So these guys have just been down on the dam having a drink, and they've now moved into the vegetation to just have a little bit more of a feed into the cooler parts. Move up. Got a lovely question from Lynn in Michigan. Just turning around, Lynn, and VM, I do apologise, I'm just going to reposition our vehicle. So I've got a downhill run. If this vehicle does cut out, I can potentially clutch start it, which will always be a bit of a help. And Lynn wants to know, sometimes she sees elephants crossing their back legs when they're feeding. And is this just a sign of comfort, or is there a reason for it? It's actually just a comfortable position that they put themselves into, Lynn. As far as I've read and I know, I've sort of observed, and they really do just put themselves into that sort of comfortable position, and sometimes they lean against trees even when they're feeding, but they do get that beautiful just sort of crossed back leg position on them. So that's a great question, Lynn, and thank you very much. It just seems to be a comfort thing. Maybe just stretching their back legs a little bit as well. And you often will see them lying down when they're really comfortable as well, if the time is right. Lovely breeding herd. So Virginia on Twitter has asked if she'd what's the ages of elephant reproduction, when do they have their first ones, etc, etc. I'm just keeping an eye on these Ellies, guys, so please understand that it's okay, my girl, it's okay, it's alright, it's alright. There's a lot of young calves in here, so just keeping my eyes on them. So Virginia, if I do come back and forth, I'm just watching as I talk, and knowing that my vehicle is just also a little bit temperamental at the moment. So they first normally, well, their normal first conception age for a female is about 10 to 11 years of age, and most of you know that, and if you don't, this is probably going to become as a bit of a shock. Are you ready for this? I hope you're sitting down, but it's a 22-month gestation period, which is the longest of any mammal, and absolutely incredible gestation period. But these little guys come out fully developed, little miniature versions of their adult, their mums, and it is quite an incredible journey through that. So it's just under 2 years. Now they'll have calves between sort of every 4 to 9 years, so there'll be a calf sort of alongside them within the family unit before they drop, and that calf will probably be 6 years old before the next one comes along. And it really does depend on a lot of things. That's a generalization. It just depends on whether there's available foodstuffs, how big the herd size is, and many, many other things. We are absolutely surrounded by elephants at the moment, folks. It's a fantastic feeling. I just wish I could turn my vehicle off, and that's why if I turn my vehicle off, they'd probably be a little bit more relaxed, but I've got to keep it running. I always get a question also about twins, whether twins have been recorded. I think there is one recording of twins, but it's very, very, very rare in the wild and in captivity. So a great rarity, twins in elephants. Just beautiful creatures. Folks, I feel really, I feel a little bit bad at the moment that I've got the engine running, and I just want to update you if you've just joined us again. I would normally, in this situation with a very, very beautiful, comfortable breeding herd here that are happy for us to be here, I would normally turn the vehicle off, that's for sure. But I've got a bit of a fuel issue with my vehicle at the moment. It's not starting immediately. If you put that equation into your heads, you probably understand why I've got it running. I'm completely comfortable with what I'm doing here. I just want to make sure that you understand why I've got the engine running. It's such a gentle time for this herd. They're browsing and feeding together, and this female right in front of us, you can get some great detail because she is very, very close to us at the moment. She's got a calf just behind there, but folks, that's the reason why I've got the vehicle engine running, and we're just going to stick with these guys. Got elephants all around us at the moment. I just want to describe it to you. I've got this beautiful cow here on the left browsing. I've got about another 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 individuals over on my right. I've got elephants behind me. I've got elephants in front of me. The little babies are over just beyond this female that we're watching now. I'm just going to move down and just sort of get into a location where you might be able to see the youngsters. It's quite thick vegetation through here. very calm. The temperature has risen, folks, dramatically. It's up, got to be up in the mid-30s at the moment, or early 30s degrees, that is, centigrade. Beautiful elephant herd we've just been sitting with for a while now, and I think it's really important that these animals, we get an understanding that these animals are completely fine with us, and it's really important to convey that to you, where we're sort of, I wouldn't say included as the herd, but they're so comfortable. They're just feeding right with us. There's no, absolutely no signature sort of or signs of behaviours of aggressive behaviour or unhappy behaviour to us for our presence. I am just going to ask you, VM, to watch that female that I can't quite see. She looks so gentle, she's completely fine. I just had to move a little bit so I can keep my eye on her as well, but you need to have eyes in the back of your head. It's completely fine, and they are just beautiful to be around. Really, really nice. You see that ear flapping. I'm sure Peter's talked about that as well, just regulating their body temperature with those very, very vascular ears at the back of their ears. They've got a great network of veins that cool air behind the ear in that shade flows past. A little bit like a dog panting, getting the cool air over his tongue. Oh, look over here, VM. Be very, very careful, folks. There's something very dangerous behind us. Oh my goodness. Very, very dangerous. I think this could be Peter's little friend. Hello, little buddy. Get ready for this. This could be the most dangerous position I've been in all day. Look at this little guy, isn't he fantastic? I'm only joking, of course, folks. This little guy here is so beautiful. He's with his mum, and if his mum wasn't comfortable with us being here, she would have let us know long ago. As VM passes that skin, you can see that beautiful wrinkled skin, and a lot of people say, oh, the elephant skin's really rough. It's very sensitive skin, hence why they mud bath to protect themselves from biting flies and keep themselves dust bathed down as well. If ever you have had a chance to get close to an elephant, you can really see those that beautiful textured skin there. And you know, I've had also questions before, folks, where people say, oh, isn't it interesting? I'm sorry, VM, I just had to move down here, mate. I should have let you know. There's just a little, I'm just watching this female over here. Let's sit with her for a second. Hello, my girl. It's okay. Okay, I don't want to go in your path, but if I can just go ahead of you, if that's all right, my girl. So I'll just let her pass, and then once she passes, I'll move forward a bit for you, my girl. There you go. They really do give you those signs and symbols of whether they want you. If you've given them enough distance, they'll stop. And then I moved forward about 5 feet. She sort of said, that's what I wanted. And she's just moved on. I'm just going to reverse so VM's got an angle now. She's the only one that I was just watching. Uh-oh, another dangerous character. These little guys are so beautiful. Perfect replicas of their So I think we're just going to sit with these guys, folks, until close today. It's been fantastic. I'll just start to round up and recap what we've seen. Obviously, I haven't been with you very often today. We've had a couple of car problems and over the other side of the reserve. And Peter's had fantastic stuff today, and that's the whole mission of Wild Safari Live. It's about getting this beautiful content, these beautiful pictures to you all around the world to be on the back of this vehicle with us wherever we are. And that's the beauty of having two vehicles. But I just wanted to always thank you, and you're the reason why we do it. You're the reason why we're here. The people that watch and support Wild Safari Live, we couldn't do it without you. The questions have been fantastic today. I know Peter's going to come back on a high from his encounters this morning. We will try and pick up these elephants a little bit later as well. I'm going to just move over so we can see these little youngsters before we finish. They're just in the shade, but I'm sure Mama will allow me to do this. She's okay. And I'm just going to move into this little spot just here to see these little guys. Can you see that, Liam? Just over there, mate. There's a lovely little picture there. Okay. So, folks, I'm going to say farewell to you and start to wind up. We've got a beautiful herd of elephants surrounding us right here on Wild Safari Live, and it's just been a great morning. We look forward to having you again with us this afternoon as well. We'll be back at the regular time, and if there's any information you need to find out, head on to wildsafarilive.com and you can get up all the information you need. You can check out the Wild Earth Facebook page as well. There's updates on that all the time. You have been feeding us absolutely fantastic information always throughout with leopard sightings and identifications, so we really thank you. If I just point you over here, VM, there's a little baby. Oh, he's just stopped. The little guy was just trying to suckle from his mother there. I do apologise, mate. She's walking off. Anyway, folks, they're just walking off into the distance there. We might let them be. We've got a few more on the other side of us, but the most important thing for us is to say thank you. The reason why my vehicle's running is because I don't want to turn it off. It might not start again. We can't wait to see you again. And this weekend, remember, 2 fireside chats consecutive, Saturday and Sunday nights, running behind each other. We'll do 5:30 till 6 both nights. If anyone's got any questions, there's a little baby lying down over here, VM. I'm going to let you throw to him in a second. Thank you very much, folks, from Peter and I, VM and Brian. We can't wait to see you this afternoon. Take care. We'll see you just now.